Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, dear students. Welcome back to online classes of Iqra of Fast Secondary Schools, a project of Iqra Education System. I know you all must be waiting for second part of revision of tenses. Here we are, and your wait is over. In the last video lecture of revision of tenses part 1, we discussed about elements of sentence: idest, subject, verb and object. The most important element is verb. It has two branches, auxiliary verb and main verb. And without understanding verb, it would be difficult to understand this chart on the board. I assigned you a homework in the end of my last lecture. Review the elements of sentence. Let's begin the second part. In this video lecture, I may assign you a task in the end too, which you will practice in your register. Let's focus on this chart of tenses. As you know, there are three main tenses: present, past and future. And you can also look at the board. And every main tense has further four categories: simple, continuous, perfect and perfect continuous. I have used AV for auxiliary verb and MV for main verb. Let us look at the auxiliary verbs and forms of main verb used in each tense. We will go through present categories first. In present simple, we use do and does as auxiliary verbs. And we use present form, which means first form of verb, in present simple. The first example on the board of present simple is Ahmed plays cricket on Sunday. The negative sentence is Ahmed does not play cricket on Sunday. And the interrogative sentence is does Ahmed play cricket on Sunday? So now you can see the usage of first auxiliary verb of present simple, that is does. We use does in negative sentence of present simple, and we use does at the beginning of interrogative sentence. Now let's move on to the second example. The second example written on the board is we take class, we do not take class, do we take class? The usage of do in present simple as an auxiliary verb is in negative and interrogative sentences. So you can see, look at the board, that we are using do in the negative sentence before not, and then we are bringing do at the beginning of interrogative sentence. Now present continuous, we use is and are as auxiliary verbs in present continuous, and we use present participle form, which means fourth form of main verb, in present continuous sentence. In present continuous, the usage of is, am and are is exemplified on the board here. In present continuous, the first auxiliary verb is. He is eating food. He is not eating food. Is he eating food? So you can see the usage of is in present continuous tense. I am teaching you. I am not teaching you. Am I teaching you? The usage of am in present continuous tense. You are attending lecture. You are not attending lecture. Are you attending lecture? The usage of are in present continuous tense. In present perfect, we use has and have as auxiliary verbs, and we use past participle form, which means third form of main verb in present perfect sentence. These are the examples of present perfect tense. with the usage of auxiliary verb and past participle form of main verb. Ali has eaten food. Ali has not eaten food. Has Ali eaten food? You can see the usage of has in all the three sentences: affirmative, negative and interrogative, and the usage of past participle form of main verb eat, as in eaten, eaten and eaten. The next example with have is given here on the board. We have watched this video. We have not watched this video. Have we watched this video? The usage of have in all three sentences and the usage of past participle form of watch as watched. In perfect continuous of present, which means present perfect continuous sentence, we use has been and have been as auxiliary verbs, and we use present participle form, which means fourth form of main verb. Here we have examples for present perfect continuous. The usage of has been and have been as auxiliary verbs, and the usage of present participle form, which means fourth form of main verb. She has been cooking food for 15 minutes. She has not been cooking food for 15 minutes. Has she been cooking food for 15 minutes? We have been learning tenses for 2 days. We have not been learning tenses for 2 days. Have we been learning tenses for 2 days? In past simple, we use did as auxiliary verb. And for the main verb forms, I will tell you a very unique quality of second form of verb, which is past form of verb. My dear brothers, past simple is the only tense in whole English where we use past form of main verb, which is second form of main verb, and that is in the affirmative sentence of past simple. So I am repeating it for you. Past simple affirmative sentence is the only sentence where we use past form of main verb, which means second form of main verb. And in negative and interrogative sentences, we use present form, which means first form of verb. These three sentences are the examples of past simple. We attended lecture yesterday. We did not attend lecture yesterday. Did we attend lecture yesterday? Now here you can see the usage of did as auxiliary verb in negative and interrogative sentences of past simple. We do not use auxiliary verb in affirmative sentence of past simple. And one more uniqueness of past simple, I have already told you that past simple affirmative sentence is the only sentence in whole English where we use past form of main verb, which means second form of main verb. You can notice here we are using the second form or past form in affirmative sentence, but we are using present form or first form in negative and interrogative sentences. In past continuous tense, we use was and were as auxiliary verbs, and we use present participle form, which means fourth form of main verb in this tense. These sentences are the examples of past continuous with the usage of was and were as auxiliary verb and the usage of present participle form of main verb, which means fourth form of main verb. I was eating food. I was not eating food. Was I eating food? Boys were swimming. Boys were not swimming. Were boys swimming? While in past perfect, we use had as auxiliary verb and we use past participle form of main verb, which means third form of main verb. These sentences are the examples for past perfect tense with the usage of had as auxiliary verb and the usage of past participle form of main verb, which is gone in all three sentences. My father had gone to office. My father had not gone to office. Had my father gone to office. In past perfect continuous tense, we use had been as auxiliary verb and we use present participle form, which means fourth form of main verb. These sentences on the board are the examples for past perfect continuous with the usage of had been as auxiliary verb in affirmative, negative and interrogative sentences, and the usage of present participle form of main verb, which is here. My mother had been cooking for 10 minutes. My mother had not been cooking for 10 minutes. Had my mother been cooking for 10 minutes. Now look at future simple. In future simple, we use will or shall as auxiliary verbs, and we use present form, which means first form of main verb. These sentences on the board are the examples for future simple with the usage of shall and will as auxiliary verbs and the present form of main verb. We shall attend class tomorrow. We shall not attend class tomorrow. Shall we attend class tomorrow? They will call us. They will not call us. Will they call us? In future continuous, we use will be or shall be as auxiliary verb, and we use present participle form, which means fourth form of main verb. These sentences on the board are the examples for future continuous tense with the usage of shall be and will be as auxiliary verb and the usage of present participle form of main verb. I shall be sleeping. I shall not be sleeping. Shall I be sleeping? They will be playing. They will not be playing. Will they be playing? We use will have or shall have in future perfect tense as auxiliary verbs, okay? And we use past participle form, which means third form of main verb in this tense. These sentences are the examples for future perfect tense with the usage of shall have and will have as auxiliary verbs and the usage of past participle form of main verb. Come is the past participle form of come. Come, came, come and coming. Slept is the past participle form of sleep. I shall have come back. I shall not have come back. Shall I have come back? She will have slept. She will not have slept. Will she have slept? And in future perfect continuous, we use will have been or shall have been as auxiliary verbs, and we use present participle form, which means fourth form of main verb. These are the examples for future perfect continuous tense with the usage of shall have been and will have been in affirmative, negative and interrogative sentences, and the usage of present participle form, which means fourth form of main verb here. We shall have been playing for an hour. We shall not have been playing for an hour. Shall we have been playing for an hour? You will have been studying for 2 days. You will not have been studying for 2 days. Will you have been studying for 2 days? So my brothers, to simplify this chart on the board, I will give you one technique. You only need to remember and memorize the auxiliary verbs in each tense, be that present simple, present continuous or any other tense. All the 4 categories of present, all the 4 categories of past and all the 4 categories of future. If you memorize the auxiliary verbs, you don't need to focus much on the forms of verb, because I am giving you such technique which will help you remember the form of main verb in every tense. You can look at the board, then in all the simple tenses, be that present simple, past simple or future simple, we use first form, which is present form of verb. Exceptionally, past simple affirmative sentence, in which we use past form, which is second form. In all the continuous tenses, be that only continuous or perfect continuous, you can look at the board, we use present participle form of main verb, which is fourth form of main verb. In all 3 continuous, present continuous, past continuous and future continuous, in all 3 perfect continuous, present perfect continuous, past perfect continuous and future perfect continuous, we use present participle form of main verb. And in all the perfect tenses, present perfect, past perfect and future perfect, we use third form of verb, which is past participle form of main verb. So I hope you have clearly understood this chart. What you all need to do is to memorize the auxiliary verbs, and I have already told you the technique of remembering or memorizing the form of main verb used in each tense. If you do so, it will be easy for you to make sentences of each tense. And in the end, I am going to assign you a homework of putting down the sentences from present simple to future perfect continuous. We will meet again in the next lecture. Till then, take very good care of yourselves and do your assignments on the given time and submit your registers at the scheduled time in your school branch, so that we can check your work and we can give you our feedback. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.